Hey guys, it's Russell with Adventure Out. I'm a surf instructor in Pacific, California, and today we're going to go over how to buy your first surfboard. So the main thing we're going to talk about with surfboards and how to purchase one is volume, what it's made out of, structure, and also the fin configuration. Other than that, there's a few other things you could look into, but if you're just buying your first board, those are going to be the most important things. I have a couple different boards back here. I'm going to talk to you about the Wavestorm, infamous. It's probably one of the most recognizable surfboards out there. Super cheap, super durable, and they allow you to catch a lot of waves. So these boards, speaking of volume, these are 86 liters, and surfboards, the volume is rated by liters. So the higher the volume, the easier it's going to be to get into those waves. Cool. So now we're going to talk about construction. So what the board is made out of is going to be really important to your safety, your flotation, and your paddle power. So this board is made out of foam. Soft foam, pretty forgiving. If it does pop up and hit you in the face, it'll still hurt, but it won't break you. As opposed to some other boards out there, this is a fiberglass board, polyurethane. So these guys are a little bit harder, but they're also a lot more fragile. Now they come in all different sizes and shapes, just like this big soft top. But typically, the smaller the board, the more high performance it's going to be. You're going to be able to do more tricks, more turns, a lot quicker. Think of it as like a Porsche versus like a semi-truck. So the smaller the board, the easier it's going to be doing quick turns and tips. The bigger the board, the easier it's going to be getting into the wave, but it's not going to be as agile. You're just going to be kind of cruising. Next thing I want to talk about is the fins. So this soft top has a tri-fin setup, a 3-fin, also known as a thruster. So I'd recommend going with the thruster setup for your first board. That'll give you enough fins in the water to give you enough traction, give you enough stability so that you'll be able to cruise down that line, will still let you lean on those fins to give a little bit of turn. Another popular setup for fins on longboards is the single fin, like this one right here. Single fins are pretty fun and cruisy. However, for your first board, I would suggest going with the 3-fin setup. It'll just give you a little bit more stability. These guys you can kind of cruise and rock with, but once you get a little bit better, you can kind of maybe get down to a single fin. Another thing with these boards is they're pretty cheap. You can go to Costco and get one of these for 99 bucks. You could buy them online for a little bit more expensive than that, but yeah, they're pretty cheap. They're super durable. I drop mine up by accident all the time. It's no big deal. Like lending them out to friends too. You don't have to worry about it as much. As opposed to other longboards that can range up to like $1,000 and more, this would be a good first investment. There's a bunch of other companies like this that are coming out with soft boards, a little bit more high performance than the Wavestorm, but it does come with a price. So you're going to pay more money. So I'd recommend just going down to your local shop once they reopen, renting out one of these guys, renting out another kind of soft board, testing it out, see how you like it. If you're a little bit bigger, I weigh about 150 pounds. This guy's fine for me. I have friends who weigh about like 200. They can still ride one of these. But if you're a little bit heavier, you could look into getting a bigger board. This one's 8 foot. The Wavestorms typically come 8 feet long. You can get a different kind of soft top board that's like 9 foot, even 9.6 if you want to get a little bit more volume to give you more flotation power. Another thing about these long boards is, as opposed to short boards, is they actually are much easier to paddle, and get that paddle power, get that speed going to get you into the wave. The shorter boards like these guys, so this is a 510 Lost Short Round. It's much thinner, as you can see. When you're sitting on this board, you're actually going to be sitting in the water, like up to your belly button. And when you're paddling, it's going to be a little bit harder to get the speed that you get when you're paddling on one of these guys. So if you were to go straight to one of these boards right off the bat, you're going to drop your wave count down significantly, You're not really going to be able to get into waves, and you're not going to have as good of a time as if you're just sticking with a longer board, getting the fundamentals down, getting the skills down to get into those waves, and then you could start upgrading to a shorter board if you want to do that. So just to kind of summarize what I think are the most important things in buying a new board, it's going to be the construction. You want something soft, so it's safer. The volume or the size, at least 8 feet. This is 86 liters. And the fin setup. I'd say the fin setup's probably not as important, but it's still worth mentioning. You're gonna want a 3-fin setup. That's a good way to start. You can go with a single fin if you want. A lot of the long boards have single fins too. I just recommend a 3-fin or a thruster setup, and that'll get you out there on the water. If you want to streamline your learning curve, come check out one of our surf schools in Pacifica, California, or Santa Cruz. We have the best instructor to surfer ratio. So for every 4 surfers, we're gonna have 1 instructor for you. Yeah, give us a call, give us a shout. We'll see you out there in the water. Thanks.